Well, I have to begin today's video with an apology. This is an apology I never wanted to have to make. I never thought I would ever be making. I would like to apologize to Smash Mouth because you were right. The years start coming and they don't stop coming. And boy, we all made fun of you, didn't we? But you knew what was up. Smash Mouth, you knew what was up. And I just want to say I'm sorry. And guess what? You had some bangers. I have to get this off my chest. I need to be honest. Guy's whipping a Yui. Anyway, that is not the subject of today's video. That was just something personal that I had to let out. Frankie is a Furby is the name of a YouTube user. He's also, that sounds like he's a druggie. He's a user. But I just worked like a 10-hour day. Frankie is a Furby. His handle, obviously a hilarious reference to the Frankie over at Red Cow Arcade. He is no stranger to the Red Cow Discords. Anyway, he commented on one of my last videos a couple things. One thing he commented on was, "Oh, Brian, you should be on more Red Cow Arcade." To which I said, the problem with that is that I don't like to look at myself or listen to myself, but I like to look and listen at Red Cow Arcade. So if I am on it, it ruins my ability to enjoy it. So selfishly, that's a problem for me. Obviously, I would love to spend a little bit more time at the old Red Cow Roundtable, but I also think it's weird to like poke at somebody to be like, "Hey, like I should be on your podcast," when there's not a reason to be on the podcast. That said, the Red Cow Boys, super into physical media, and y'all know I've been VHS ride or die since the good old days. And I own a physically hefty Laserdisc collection, CEDs, Betamax tapes, a little bit of 35mm film. I do own the Darkman trailer on 35mm film. So I'm an obsolete media goofball. So, you know, if they wanted me on there to talk about that, I probably could. My point is, would love to, but I'm not a guy to poke at people. Is this super passively aggressively trying to get people to go to Red Cow and say, "Hey, you should have Brian on again"? Maybe. But that is not also the point of today's video. Today, it's weird how much of today's video is comprised of things that are not the point of the video. Pretty typical for me, I guess. No, what I want to talk about today, because this was another Frankie is a Furby comment. Now that I'm doing the drive time videos, Drive Time Bry, welcome to me. How about that sun, huh? It got nice out this week, and I sort of forgot that it's like being on the surface of Mercury all of a sudden. In any case. Sorry, I was just pulling up to a stop. Pulling up to like a clean, full stop. What Frankie is a Furby commented on was, now that I'm doing these drive time videos, like, oh, you know, how long is it going to be till Brian has some sort of falling down-esque gridlock freakout in his videos. And that got me thinking about the movie Falling Down. I don't want to say a favorite, because that would be weird if that was one of your favorite movies. But it is a movie that I think has a really unique place in my pop culture brain and my storytelling brain, because it is a movie. If you haven't seen it, it's Michael Douglas. He's the trailer would suggest to you that like he's just an everyday man who's had enough with the everyday world. Whatever. It's like he, snaps on the gridlock traffic and on the like loudmouth, mean convenience store clerk, and the disgusting fast food burgers that look nothing like the picture, and the gangbangers, and like, oh, he's just a regular guy that's had enough, and he's taking it back. It presents itself that way. But what I find really interesting about this movie is it is one of the best examples of a movie that sets up an expectation. It sets up a character as a character that you're supposed to be rooting for. And then as the movie goes on, you realize, because it's like, oh, he's like an everyday man that's been pushed too far, and now he's doing bad things, but it's sort of like an anti-hero story. But as the movie goes on, it reveals that, like, no, he's a bad guy. He has been... It's not just that the things that he's doing become worse and worse. Because, at first, he busts up a convenience store because he's angry. It's like the cost of a soda goes up, and he's it's like that boomer rage of like, things are more expensive than they used to be, and the clerk isn't as nice as clerks used to be, and all these things. And granted, the clerk is running hot, that's for sure, but he like busts up the convenience store with a baseball bat. It's like, and then it becomes like I can't remember exactly the chronology, but he definitely gets, was it the gangbangers? He gets the duffel bag full of guns, and then he goes to the fast food place, and he's mad that the burger doesn't look as good as it does in the picture, which, no, they don't, but they still taste good. And guess what? They're a lot cheaper than a burger that looks like it looks in the picture. Like, this is the world. Calm down. Calm your tits. But back in the day, watching it as like a 14-year-old, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look as good as in the picture. You stick it to them. You shoot bullets into the ceiling because it doesn't look as good as it does in the picture. But it escalates. Like, what he's doing is escalating. And also, he has an ex-wife, he has a daughter, and his crazy is starting to like come in. They become sort of his focus, and it's getting to them, getting to his daughter. I think it's his daughter's birthday. That becomes his focus, and basically all these other things are just in his way, and he becomes crazier and crazier and darker. But that's the thing, is you discover as the police are investigating. By the way, Robert Duvall, the great Robert Duvall, in a great performance, which are all Robert Duvall performances, to be fair. He, as good as Michael Douglas is, Robert Duvall, like, tracking him down is every bit as good as an engaging, interesting part of the story. But that is also where, as Robert Duvall is trying to track this guy down, you are discovering more about Michael Douglas. He is not a good guy. He is a monster. His mother, who he lives with, is absolutely terrified of him. He's emotionally, mentally, and physically abusive to, sounds like, it's, some things are implied, some things are, overt. It's, if I remember right, like very heavily implied that he was physically abusive with his ex-wife, I think with his daughter too. But this is my point. We're walking through the events of the movie, but this idea that a movie sets someone up as, hey, this guy's just like you, and he's had enough, and he's taking it back, and like he is the hero that you are on the journey with. But as things are revealed, as things turn, by the end of the movie, he is the villain. And he is revealed, and not just revealed to be the villain, or not like he turns into the villain. It is that he was the villain the whole time. And it was really just the perspective of the movie convinced you that he was the hero. It's sort of a story about spin and optics and the perspective of the storyteller. And I think that's really fascinating. It's not necessarily the greatest movie. I think it's a very good movie. I think it's a very interesting and compelling story. But the thing that I think is most interesting about it is this sort of like frog boiling in a pot situation with the audience, where it convinces you that this guy is the good guy. And even in the movie, it's a little on the nose. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little on the nose. But there comes a point at the kind of the final confrontation with Michael Douglas and Robert Duvall when he finally catches up with them, and Michael Douglas goes, "I'm the bad guy." That's a great moment. And then it's another great moment where they sort of have their sort of Mexican standoff, and Michael Douglas pulls his pistol out of the back of his pants, and it's a water gun, and they both shoot, and Robert Duvall shoots Michael Douglas, but he goes like this, and he has water on his face, and Michael Douglas goes, "I would have got you," and then he dies. I'm a sucker for those kind of moments in movies, those kind of quotes. And again, a great line delivered by a great actor, like just a great setup. There's a lot of great moments in Falling Down, and a lot of great performances. But yeah, I decided that since Frankie is a Furby, called out Falling Down. And I will tell you a little story. I actually tried to film this video on the way to work this morning, and as I started filming, and I was merging onto the freeway, a guy, I think, I did not look at the person, but the van decided that they don't believe in the zipper merge, and they decided they definitely were supposed to be ahead of me post-merge. And literally, I was almost run off the road by somebody while trying to film this video earlier in the day. I looked at the video, it's looking at me, it's not looking at the cars. So the video was not dramatic, it's just me going like, really? Really? So otherwise I would show it to you. If it was cool, I would show it to you. But yeah, it's funny that I get called out for like how long till there's some sort of like crazy driving situation that happens during one of these videos, and literally something happens, and that kind of stuff I don't remember the last time I had any kind of weird situation like that. So it's weird that it sort of manifested as I was trying to film this video. So yeah, so Frankie is a Furby. You may be some sort of dark wizard manifesting like negative energy around me, which is not great. I do appreciate the comments though. And so far so good. I'm not home yet, but this video, nothing insane has happened. That's good. I am about to cross over the mighty Mississippi River. If you look to your left, you will see a rather pathetic piece of the Mississippi. Up here in Minnesota, depending on where you are, the Mississippi is either like a gigantic, awe-inspiring beast of a river, or it's like a creek. You get a little further, north of the cities, and it sort of becomes pretty unimpressive pretty fast because we're the source, Anyway, well, I guess. See, what I got to do mentally, I got to replace anyway with Whelp, because I want to wrap up my videos with Whelp, and because that's my thing now. And I'm good at starting it with a Whelp, but I gotta wrap it up with a Whelp too. Whelp, that is it for today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. What are your opinions of the movie Falling Down starring Michael Douglas and the great Robert Duvall? I would love to know, are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Do you take my perspective of that ultimately Michael Douglas is the true villain of the story, and that you should probably feel kind of bad for rooting for him for as long as you do in the story? They do throw in that Nazi though. They do throw in the Nazi that's like, we're the same, you and me. We're the same. And he's like, we're not the same. I'm an American. You're a racist asshole. Great moment. Problem is it comes a little too late where he's already starting to turn. But I guess it's early enough to where you're still kind of rooting for him. But it's almost like it reinforces, like, yeah, he's the good guy. He's the good guy. He's not this Nazi. I do think they maybe needed to, if that was the point, because I'm also assuming that this is the point of the movie. If that was the point, I think maybe that scene, as much as I love it, I think it was a little misguided, because I think it too strongly reinforces that Michael Douglas is the hero. But I guess it could also be saying, in some situations, there are no heroes. In some situations, it is only villains. So yeah, so let me know what you think of the movie Falling Down. Let me know what you think of Red Cow Entertainment, Red Cow Arcade. I'm a big fan of the boys. Again, I'm passively aggressively trying to. I'm hunting for a reason to get back on there, but I just don't have a reason. And if I'm on there, that's an episode I don't want to watch because I don't want to look at me. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching. Oh, did I just do it? Oh, why didn't I call the channel Ope with Brian Q? Anyway, well, this is becoming a terrifying mental exercise. To drive, to try not to say anyway, to try to say what, it's insane. This is insanity. It's like the meme of Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing when she's like, "You're wild." They're driving. It's like when you're over 40 and it's 9:30 at night and you click play next episode on Netflix and she's like, "You're wild." That's what I feel like right now. This is not that insane, but to me it feels like I'm literally losing my mind. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you're as frustrated as I am with me, because I mean, it's kind of a good time, right? Anyway, well, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.